Hi friends, welcome back to my channel. I'm Sarah Martin with The Contoured Chemist. I'm excited because it's my favorite day. It is Get Ready With Me Day with the new shade of the month. So we are gonna be comparing all the pinks in a pink inspired look because I can't help myself. I'm so excited to try this shade. I have not even swatched it yet. So this is gonna be my first impressions, all the things. So if you want to check it out, please keep watching. Be sure to like and subscribe, and thanks for being here. Okay, friends, I'm super excited. So if you don't know, Seint recently, I'd say this year, I think, maybe it started in January, if I'm right, started a shade of the month, meaning every month, just for that calendar month now, they have changed it. So just FYI, it's no longer like while available, while supplies last kind of thing. It's now only that calendar month. So they release either a shade that was limited edition and they're bringing it back for 1 month only, or they're dropping a bunch of new shades that are also limited edition just for the month. So when I get my hands on it, it's the first time I've ever tried it. So I know you guys keep asking, what is it compared to as soon as it's released? But artists don't get it beforehand. So I just ran to my mailbox because I saw the tracking delivered my new shade. And of course I got 2 because if you are my giveaway winner this month, you get to choose any. How many colors did I say? 8? I can't even remember. But doing a giveaway with the best moisturizer of all time, our Seint Cream. And I think it's your choice of any 8 shades from Seint. If I'm wrong, I might be wrong. But go check it out over on Instagram if you're following me. All you have to do is comment and like on the posts for the month of July to be entered. And you can choose this one, or you can choose Sunshine State, which was last month. If you missed it, I got an extra of that one too. But I ran out to my mailbox. I immediately put it in the fridge because today is the hottest day of the week. It's going to be over 100, and don't know. And you try to open a Seint cream when it's all melted, you're going to lose a bunch of product on the lid. So just drop it into the fridge, pretty side up. Let it cool down. I know it's so tempting to open it as soon as it gets here, but I put my 2 shades in the fridge. I'm putting one away for whoever wins the giveaway this month in case they want a new pink lemonade. I hadn't even said the shade yet. So this is pink lemonade, you guys. I haven't even swatched it. So I figured this is gonna inspire my look today, obviously. We're gonna do a very pink inspired look, and we're gonna be swatching all the pink shades to compare and show you guys how you can wear pink lemonade. So first things first, before we can put it on, obviously we gotta do a little bit of face makeup. So I'm gonna run through this real quick. You guys know I can be talkative, but I really wanna get to that shade. So we're just gonna do a basic face for summertime. The only thing I have on my skin is my glow screen, which is my SPF. I am wearing the new Golden Hour, which is their new darker bronzier color, and I've been loving it. I know you guys have been asking me, when I self-tan and my face is feeling a little bit pale, I use that. If I'm kind of in the middle, I'll be honest, I've been mixing that one and the original color, which why can't I ever, it's not on the old bottles. They don't have it written on the bottles yet. What did they name it? I keep wanting to call it champagne, but it's more of a champagne color, which that's not the name. I'll try to remember. Anyway, I mix them sometimes as well. And since they're the exact same formulation, just different colors, you can do that. I wouldn't necessarily recommend mixing sunscreens into the palm of your hand otherwise, because you could have different reactions and it might not give you the full SPF on the bottle if you're mixing it with other things, but for the glow screen purposes, you totally can. And then some days if I just want that lit from within look, I just go with the original. So I've been loving both, just a heads up, in case you've been wondering. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited to use this. Let's go ahead and do a little bit of foundation. I just washed all my brushes. Aren't they pretty? All right, so I'm just gonna be picking up my color corrector and hitting all those darkest points with my blend brush. Okay, my entire nose, eyes, redness. Hyperpigmentation. Okay, so since I have rosacea, hyperpigmentation, purple around my entire under eyes, I practically use a very light hand of my color corrector everywhere. Very little, buffed into the skin. So it's not like I look super dark with just that color because I'm using very, very little. Now I can go ahead and flip it around to the big brush and use a little bit of my more neutral main shade to kind of even out my canvas, kind of lighten up, tone down that warmth a tad, build up a little bit of coverage, and mostly just to even it out because I didn't quite apply it all over, so I still have areas that need coverage. Does that make sense? So I'm just tapping, not swiping, and then I'm just gonna tap it on the skin so I get the lightest hand possible without moving all of that color corrector I just placed. If I start buffing this, I would be mixing and I'm gonna lose coverage. Okay, so on more detailed areas where I need a little bit more coverage, I will flip the brush around and I will press on my main shade. My entire nose is darker and noses tend to wear off more and faster than anywhere else. So I tend to press on a little bit more there for extra coverage. Under the eyes as well, I can control it with this small end, kind of build up coverage where needed there and on any dark spots. All right, let's go ahead and hurry up and contour so we can get to that lip and cheek, shall we? I'm gonna use Astoria, the detail brush, tap in and tap on to blend. So I just told you I washed my brushes. Sometimes I forget, even I forget. As soon as you wash your brushes will pick up product differently. So it picked up more than it had been. So you might have to be a little bit more careful when you dip into your creams and make sure you're not picking up as much product. So this time I'm just gonna tap in a little bit less. Okay, quick nose contour. Now let's brighten. I'm just going to use this small end of the blend. Tap in and go up to that nose and keep it right here. Okay. Anywhere you have shadows, your brightener can also help you disguise bags. I have like one shadow right there. Key is going to the deepest part of the shadow and pressing your brightener into the darkest point. And then right down the center of that nose stripe. All right, let's perfect. So I always do the perfector step before my lip and cheek for a reason, because if you don't know, our lip and cheeks, for one, kind of die down. Even if, like, once you put them on the skin, they will warm up on the skin and they can kind of tone down slightly. So I always recommend either applying it heavier, knowing that it's going to tone down. And obviously, the more you apply 3D foundation, the more you're going to kind of know which colors are the most pigmented, which ones will tone down more. And then soon you won't have to worry about it as much because you'll know how much to apply. But when you're first starting out, some of the shades you might apply it and you're like, oh, that looks great. Go on about your day. And then you're like, later you're like, I can't see my blush, okay? So blush is very personal preference. Some people like a more bold blush. Some people like very subtle blush. And so it kind of just depends on your preference. But I always say if you perfect before, you can place exactly the amount of blush you want and you're not gonna be removing any of that excess with your perfector. That is how I get my blush exactly the way I want it, placed exactly where I want it, where it's not gonna be moving product or taking away any coverage, and I never have issues with longevity of my blush. Okay, so I'm mostly hitting those points I applied my brightener, since that is where it can really increase the look of texture and creasing. All right, so before my under eyes crease, I'm gonna go ahead and get my powder brush, touch my vanilla dust, and set my under eyes. Okay, you notice I'm not putting any on the cheek area. I am just getting my under eyes so that those don't crease while I'm finishing up my makeup, because if I talk, my under eyes will crease. Okay, so you can put it anywhere else. We're not gonna be applying blush there. Anywhere else that you might be a little bit shiny, I like to just tone down a couple of areas and leave my cheeks nice and glowy. All right, friends, let's try this shade, shall we? Okay, haven't even swatched it yet. Pink Lemonade. Okay, right off the bat, I'm thinking it looks pretty cool. Ooh, it looks darker when I swatch into it. It is definitely a cool pink. Can you see that? My gosh, it's really pretty. All right, let's compare swatches. I feel like we have a lot of pinks, so let's see what I would compare it most closely to. So if you don't know, Pink Lemonade is a satin formula. So in Seint terms, that means it's matte. There's no glow to it, okay? These normally, I would say, are my favorites for putting down pigmentation. I always like to put a matte down first, and then if you like the more glowy look of our glossy shades, you could always put a gloss over it. But these will not have any kind of shine to them. Do you see how matte they are? All right, so Pink Lemonade is a matte. Let's first swatch our matte shades to compare them to. I would say so far my number one asked question is, how does it compare to Hollywood? Okay, Hollywood is also a matte. Okay, Hollywood is more of a peachy pink. Do you see that? It also is one of the only matte, it is the only matte shade that has any kind of, I almost said glitter. It does not have glitter. It has some gold in it, some shimmer, okay? Now it is very subtle, I would say. It's not at all like, I'll go ahead and swatch La Cienega, which is a glossy shade and has a lot of shimmer in it. Do you see the comparison of those two? Okay, so those are definitely in the more warm family because they have more peach in them. This one, can you tell? It is much more cool. All right, okay. Towel, wipe. I'm good to go. All right, so I would say the coolest pink shade we have is Baby Watermelon. So let's compare it to that. Can you see that? Interesting. So on camera, they actually look pretty similar, which surprises me because I feel like from what I've seen people posting about, they look so different. Pink Watermelon is definitely brighter. Did I just say Pink Watermelon? It's gonna get me real confused, guys, because we got Pink Lemonade. Here's Pink Grapefruit, okay? Which has always been very similar to Baby Watermelon in my opinion. You see that? Now it is a warmer pink. This one is still brighter. It's like a brighter version of Baby Watermelon. It's brighter, kind of in the same, I'd say, way Dahlia is bright. But Dahlia is more of a hot pink. You see that? And Dahlia is more on the warm side than cool. Okay, so let's go to the glossy shades. And my first thoughts are, how does it compare to Pinky Promise? This is Pinky Promise. Gosh, Pinky Promise looks way lighter. And it does look cooler. Can you see that? When I say cooler, it normally means it has less red, orange, and more blue, purple. Does that make sense? Okay, so this one is definitely still cooler. Let's try it next to Candy. Okay, I can tell right off the bat, this is definitely gonna be, I mean, see how deceiving they are in the 10? Feels like it's gonna be a lot lighter. Even though the 10s don't look that different. So this is a glossy shade. Okay, our glosses, oh, there's Champion. You better not knock anything off. Our glosses are much more sheer as a whole. There are some exceptions, of course, but there is Candy, Pinky Promise. So these are nothing like that. He's getting big, isn't he? He's almost 9 months old. He's gonna be a big cat. Okay, and then we got Petal, which one is going to be a lot lighter because this is one of our lightest shades. So these are all in the cool family. Can you see that? And then some of these are more warm. And then I know Carousel is going to be almost impossible to see swatched because it normally is. Okay. Cindy is very much, in my opinion, is very, like they look very similar in the 10. Cindy always reminded me more of Hollywood, which was this one. So let's try it right here. It's a more pinky version of Hollywood. Gosh, it looks so much more pink. But they're similar. See how it has a little bit more peach in it? Okay, so let's try to get some of these, the most similar ones, I would say, right next to each other. So you guys can really see. Okay. So there's Pink Lemonade. Let's try to shoot out. This one is very, very pigmented. Okay, so know that, super pigmented, meaning when I go to touch my face, less is more, build up the color. Okay, this is very much more pigmented than Hollywood. I feel like a lot of times I get people who try Hollywood and they say they can't see it, and it's one of the less pigmented mattes in my opinion. So this one's very pigmented. Okay, so which ones were the most similar? This is, guys, all these pinks look so similar when they're next to each other, but man, the 10s are deceiving. All right, then let's do Baby Watermelon. Maybe you can see that better. And I will take natural light photos because y'all know phones can be deceiving as well. Man, it's just so hard to describe in person, but Pink Lemonade is just much cooler than Baby Watermelon. So I know I have a lot of people who love cool shades and cool pinks, so it is a lot cooler. Okay, what was the other one that was most similar? I think Cindy is pretty similar, so let's try it. Now Cindy is a glossy one. Oh, we'll see, now it doesn't look like it at all. Okay, Cindy's much lighter. And it's got more orange in it. It's a little bit more peach. This is still much cooler and brighter. So I'm just gonna keep swatching so you guys can see next to as many as possible. Summer Love is gonna be much more sheer. It is cool, but it's more of a nude pink. You see that? Okay, Venice is much more of a coral, bright, very bright in comparison. Here's Madrid, very different. Okay, much more of a darker coral pink. And I don't feel like Saint Tropez and Tropicana look anything like it because they're more in the peach family, but there's Saint Tropez for comparison, and Frenchie, which some people think Frenchie is pink. I do not think it's pink at all. It is very much peach in my opinion, but you can really tell the difference next to it. This is pink, this is much warmer, it is peach. I think that's about every pink shade we have. I didn't do any of the limited edition ones, but we obviously have a lot of pinks, right? So I will do swatch pictures so you guys compare, but let's try it on the face. If I can, oh my gosh, I wish you guys could see how similar all these look next to each other in the 10, but how different they are when swatched. It's just crazy to me. So never judge the picture based on 10 or picture online, in my opinion, they're very deceiving. All right, so let's try some pink lemonade on the face, shall we? Now, like I said, it's pigmented. So we're just going to tap in one time, and this was a clean brush. Hopefully that's not too much, okay? Okay, I feel like I didn't distribute it on my brush very well. Again, because it's a clean brush, it picked up maybe not equal amounts. So if you have to kind of like dip in, buff it out on your arm. I do that all the time. But now I am placing the color. I can slowly build up as much or as little as I want, and I'm not gonna pull it off with my perfector. It's such a pretty shade, right? So pretty. So it is a cool pink. If you don't like cool pinks, remember my trick. Add bronzer. Works every time. Okay, so now I'm gonna go ahead and show you guys what a little bit of bronzer will do to change it up. I feel like the easiest way to add some warmth if you feel like a pink is too cool on you is to just add a little Bella. I like to swirl it in Glow. I feel like I need a little bit anyway, so we're just gonna, and I'm just gonna kind of cup that cheek area and add a little bit of Bella to round it out. Okay, now if you were using a warmer contour, it can also do the same thing. So I do use a cool contour, which is Astoria, because I want the most natural looking shadow. And the contours that tend to have a little bit more warmth in them will pull out my redness more. So I would rather use a more natural looking contour and then add warmth as needed than to pull too warm overall. Does that make sense? So again, it's just a personal preference. Okay, I'm loving it on the cheeks. It's so good. You guys, it's taking all of my willpower not to put a gloss over this, but alas, I want you guys to be able to see exactly what it looks like with nothing layered over it. Now, I can't make that promise for my lips because me and matte formulations on my lips are not friends. They tend to make my naturally dry lips look drier, right? But I love them as a base. So let's see what it looks like on the lips. I'm gonna go ahead, add a little lip conditioner because like I said, those satin formulations can be a lot more drying. And I'm gonna go ahead and use Astoria, which is what I normally line my lips with. But since this is cool, I might have to add a warmer contour to line my lips since Astoria is also cool and using a cool shade, sometimes it can pull me a little bit too gray. Again, we have to try it and see, right? This is still my first impressions because it's the first time I'm using it. Okay, so there's Astoria. Let's just use my finger. I have a feeling this is gonna pull my lips a little light, but can you tell? Cool lip and cheeks on my lips tend to wash me out a little bit. I'm just gonna keep layering it on so you guys can see it. Okay, you see the washout, okay? It's very pigmented, okay? It's a little, not the most flattering on my skin tone. Okay, here's how we change that. I'm gonna take off a little bit for one. I'm gonna go in to Indigo now to add depth. and warmth to my lips because it just kind of, again, it washes me out. Too cool, I need warmth. See, better already, kind of ombreing me a little bit, but the next thing I do is I have to add warmth over this. So then I can always add a little bit in the center, and I'll show you that. But I need something glossy and I need something warm. So I could go with something like Tropicana, Boardwalk. I'm gonna go with La Cienega because I want the glow, okay? So this is warmer. It's gonna take down some of that coolness. It's also gonna give me some gloss, which I need. Okay, now if you wanna add that pop in the center, it's easier to almost do it strategically to make your lips look bigger. Does that make sense? Okay, now I feel like I still have a very cool lip. It's not warm by any means overall, but it allowed it to be wearable on me because that alone was way too cool. Okay, let's finish the face. And since the theme is pink, I'm going with my favorite pink illuminator, which is Angel. Swiping in generously since I have a giant hole in mine because I use it so much. Right on the top, the cheekbones, even though I don't feel like the illuminator looks pink at all. So pretty. Okay, my brows have been filled in with my trusty Trust eyeshadow. So now we can do a little pink themed eye look. So I picked out some of my favorite pinks that I don't use. I feel like I use, you guys know me, I use Towanda and Peppa like on a daily basis. So I picked out some pinks that I don't use as much. Okay, a wearable pink eye look. I feel like a lot of times when we say pink eyes, people are scared by pinks. I feel like pinks are so neutral. When you pick the right pinks, they're extremely wearable on any skin tone. Okay, I also feel like we demonstrated here, pinks can really range from cool to warm pinks. So it can also be a difference in preference which one you go with, but I picked some very neutral pinks. This is Claire and On Wednesday. And my favorite Brightening pink, which is a very subtle pink, and add a little warmth to it because these are more neutral to cool. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. This time I'm gonna start with my actual eyelid, which I don't feel like I do very often, but I kind of want to show you. This is On Wednesday. It is one of our pinks that I feel like, I don't know how well you can see that on my fingers are stained, guys. Let's try to swatch it on this side. It is one of our few eyeshadows that is not really a shimmer, just has a sheen to it. Okay, we don't have a lot in this formulation. I wish we had more because it's so pretty. And I feel like it's extremely wearable. It's not super shimmery. It's just got that beautiful sheen. I would call it more of a satin, okay? So I'm gonna use a multitasker so I can really press on the color so that you'll be able to see it. And you're gonna be able to see it doesn't look super pink, does it? It doesn't look very pink at all, a little bit. Okay, but it's a beautiful formulation, especially if you are looking for something not too shimmery and you have mature eyes like I do, you are scared of shimmers, I would try this one. On Wednesday's Rome and Well, Rome is a little bit more shimmery, but it's still very subtle. And then London is also one of ours, but that one's a lot darker. So this is the perfect lid shade. So pretty. Okay, so you can kind of tell I've got a pop of pink, not a crazy pink, but I've got some pink. Now I'm gonna go ahead and go in with my trusty Sedona, and this is gonna be my crease color, okay? Now this is a 4-5, meaning it can be a little bit darker. So I'm gonna try to keep this actually in my literal crease. So I normally am always telling you guys, bring it up over the crease, but we're gonna use a different color for that. So first I'm gonna put just a little bit of this in the actual crease to kind of blend out that edge of the On Wednesday and add a little bit of depth to my real crease. Do you see that? Okay, now you should not be able to really see this color. My gosh, I keep like touching my arm and getting pink everywhere. Okay, so you really shouldn't be able to see this color if it's in your actual crease, if you have hooded eyes like I do, and you open your eyes, okay? So first I want you to just put it in your actual crease. Which is really hard for me to do because I'm always telling you guys, bring it up higher. Okay, so once it's in your actual crease, I'm gonna bring it up just a touch, like so, just to kind of help push that hood back slightly, since this color has depth to it. And remember, dark makes it recede, light brings it forward. Okay, so this part we want to recede because this is my hood. Okay, I'm gonna clean off my brush with my brush cleaning tool. And I'm gonna pick up another matte, which is Claire. Now this is a lot lighter. This one is not dark enough to push back my hood and to really add contour and dimension too much to my eyes, right? I have very dark features. This is not technically dark enough for my skin tone even, but it can be beautiful to add color and still lift, okay? So I'm gonna add this above Sedona. So that when my eyes are open, you can still see some of that dusty pink. It is a beautiful color, but you can do it one or two ways. You can either put this on first and just make sure you're bringing this really high up onto your brow bone, and then you can add Sedona just into the crease. I do it that way all the time too, but I kind of wanted to show you the difference, how this can help kind of blend that edge of Sedona if you do it in this order. Try it both ways and see which way you like. I mean, this color is so good. I love this color. I feel like I have sunset eyes already. All right, so same two colors, because I feel like I always look like naked without anything under my eyes. Like, it just does not work for me. So I'm gonna flip over the brush. I'm gonna use Claire, that lighter pink, along my entire lash line. Okay, now it doesn't give much shadow, but it does give color. But since it's a pretty neutral pink, it's not gonna create too much definition. Okay, and I feel like just pink by itself usually can sometimes even make your eyes look a little bloodshot. So, just warning you. Usually if I use pink under the eyes, I blend it out well, and then I always add something for more depth or to add that warmth, okay? So then I'm gonna use Sedona about the outer half. Okay, and I'm still not done with my under eye, but for now, you see the difference? Okay, so we've got Claire, Sedona on Wednesdays. Now let's brighten, okay? So Soulmate is one of my all-time favorites. Now this is also one I warn people about just trying to like take a brush like this and slap it all over the lid, okay? It is extremely, very much a foiled shade, okay? Do you see how bright that is, okay? And meaning it can have a lot of fallout. So if you have mature eyes, this is more of the chunkier shimmers. It's very similar to Sis, it's just lighter and brighter. So it's gonna brighten more so than Sis would. Let me go ahead and try to swatch left-handed. I suck at left-handed swatches. These colors that I just used. So there's Claire and there's Sedona, okay? There's our pink palette. That being said, use a brush you can control and determine how much of this brightness do you want, okay? So we've already added our dimension, our shadow, our color, and it's very pink at the moment, okay? This, we can either keep it to just the tear duct, okay? And use it. And this is definitely one of those pop brighteners in my opinion. Okay, so I got that, and I'm just gonna use very much the residual and not add any more right under the brow. Because if you add too much of this shade, it can look very pink under the brow, which doesn't look very natural in my opinion. So same thing, other eye. And I really make sure I just pack it on right there at the tear duct. Again, high right along the arch and blend out. Otherwise it will show very pink and foiled. It can really increase the look of texture if you put too much there. Okay, now if you want more and you want to really open up your eyes more and you can control that amount, you can just simply press in, tap off excess, and then just press right in that inner third of the eye, and it really will brighten that area, okay? And then I would suggest don't try to pack on too much all at once. You can slowly add more. If your eyes are like me and you're trying to avoid under here fallout, that can increase the look of texture. Okay, if you want more of like the middle of your eye brightened, you can do the same technique. Maybe switch to Sis, which isn't quite as light, and just use your finger and pop it right on the top ball of your eye. That is another technique with this color that would really, it's going to, so this is best for small eyes. It's gonna open it up when you keep it on that inside corner. The center of the eye technique will kind of open up the eye, make them look more round. So sometimes if you have almond shaped eyes, it can really help just kind of give you a different kind of eye look. Okay, so the key is pressing and making sure you're using a brush like the multitasker to press it on, okay? So you don't get too much fallout. Like if you could see how much fallout is on my desk right now, you would understand why. Then you can kind of gently just blend with that big fluffy brush of the eyeshadow brush, but it doesn't take much. Okay, so now I want to add a little bit more depth. This would be a great daytime pink look. I mean, I think it's very pretty on its own, but I want to add a little bit more depth. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna add some Black Friday eyeliner, and then I'm gonna set it. So pounce in. But I don't want it to be as black, if that makes sense. So I'm using my favorite kind of plum to stay in that pinkish family, pink, purple, they always go good together. So this Plum Revival eyeshadow, and this is gonna be the color I set it with. It's nice and dark and matte, but it gives a more natural looking finish. So I'm just gonna press that on over it. So I still get depth, but it's a little bit softer than jet black. Okay, then you can keep it like that, or you can add a little bit more drama with the outside corner. So I'm gonna try to take just a little bit of that Revival, tap it to give a little bit more depth. Okay, flip it around, blend. Okay, picking up the multitasker one last time, making sure I get off all that shimmer so it doesn't age my under eyes. And then I'm just gonna touch that Revival and do just the outside corner. Softly. Okay, my eyes are done. Just gotta put some lower lash mascara. Are those colors not pretty together? Oh, love them. Such a beautiful palette. Okay. Oof. Set it for a dewy look. And there we go. There's our pink inspired look with the amazing new Pink Lemonade. What do you guys think? She's a good one. I can see this being used as a really beautiful base for any like blush looks. I mean, it's got that like bright pink, but not too bright. It's just like this perfect summer pop color. So pretty. So there you go. There's Pink Lemonade and all of the pinks. I hope that was helpful in seeing how you can kind of change up this pink or use it in combination with other colors and a fun pink eye look. Don't be scared of pinks. It's so pretty. I'm obsessed. I would wear pink on my eyes every day, like without a doubt. So pink is my favorite color, if you didn't know. If you're needing help with your 3D foundation, as always, I can help get you color match. Link to my color match questionnaire is down below where you can fill it out and let me know exactly how you like to wear your makeup so I can do a custom color match just for you. I can send you all of my recommendations for foundation colors, eyeshadows, lip and cheeks, the works, so that you exactly what you want from your makeup. Once again, if you like Pink Lemonade, this color will only be here the month of July. Okay, she is a limited edition shade. So as always, thank you guys so much for being here and watching, and I will see you next week. Love you. Bye.